Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Good morning from Lahore. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Continuing with the topic of autopsy, this is lecture number 15. And in this lecture, I will be discussing the opinion or conclusion, because at the end of the autopsy, you have to frame a conclusion and give an opinion, which is also called as remarks by the medical officer. So this is the most important objective which the health, law enforcement and the police wants to know what is the final conclusion. And in the conclusion, the medical officer usually in conclusionary remarks discusses the nature of injury, whether the injury is antemortem or postmortem, and kind of weapon. What was the weapon which was inflicted, and the medical cause of death, mode of death, manner of death, the time elapsed between injury and death, post-mortem interval. So these are the conclusionary objectives in an autopsy, and I will discuss one by one then. For example, the nature of injury. With the naked eye, from the vital reactions, we can find out that this injury is antemortem, because when there is bleeding, the hemoglobin is going to stain the tissue, blood is going to organize in the damaged tissues, and that is the vital reaction. And if you will wash it away, it will not be washed. And the postmortem blood that will ooze out, it will not organize, and it can easily be washed. A simple day-to-day example I usually give to the students, that in Pakistan, when we go for the shop of the chicken shop, there is a slaughter mark on the neck of the chicken where there is bleeding and that blood is organized. And when you bring that chicken meat to home and try to wash it, that mark will not be washed. But the other flesh which is cut, there is no blood organized and it is white. So this is a simple test that you try to wash that organized blood, it will not be washed away. Then the kind of weapon, from the knowledge of our mechanical injury, the causative agent, we know that what are the mechanics of various weapons in the causation of injuries. So the kind of weapon being the blunt, sharp edge, or the firearm can be determined. And the medical cause of death, that is the organic damage leading to a system's failure, is the medical cause. That is the chain of events. For example, the stab in the heart leading to profuse hemorrhage and shock. And this is the medical cause, the organic damage. Then the mode of death, as we know, upon the tripod of life, which is the base of the life, and that system's failure is the mode. So three vital systems lead to three modes. The respiratory system failure lead to asphyxia. The central nervous system failure lead to coma, and heart failure, circulatory failure, or hemorrhage will lead to syncope. Then the manner of death, this is actually teamwork, the crime scene investigation, with the help of the police, with the help of the crime scene. and the medical team, they can find out the manner of death. This only on the basis of the autopsy we cannot decide. But the system in Pakistan, most of the provinces, there is police perform the job of the visit to the scene of crime. The doctor conducting the autopsy is not the part of that team. But here in Punjab, as Punjab Forensic Science Agency has been established, the crime scene unit visits the scene of crime, but the doctor who is going to conduct the autopsy is not the part of that team. Then the time elapsed between injury and death. Upon the knowledge of anatomy and physiology, we can find out the size of the vessel, the amount of the hemorrhage, and the in the body, in the cavities, the collected blood. That can help us in estimating the time between injury and death. Similarly, we can find out the post-mortem interval, that is the interval between the death and the post-mortem. And this will be from the changes which appear in the body after death. As we know, the immediate changes, the early changes, and the delayed changes, the post-mortem cooling, post-mortem staining, rigor mortis, putrefaction, all they appear in a definitive chronological order. And they give an estimated time from the presence of that post-mortem finding. We can estimate the post-mortem interval. Then finally, we conclude an opinion. And for example, if the person was injured with the sharp-edged weapon in the heart, the opinion will be that the injuries stated above are antemortem and are caused by sharp-edged weapon. The cause of death in this case is the perforation of the left ventricle of heart, leading to massive hemorrhage and shock. And this injury is sufficient to cause death in ordinary course of nature. Ordinary course of nature means that the person is injured, kept there, and died. He was not, there was not time or there was no one to carry him to the hospital. So the ordinary course is that the person was unattended and led to bleed and die. Sometimes the opinion is held for lab results that the autopsy findings are inconclusive or there is an allegation of poisoning. Then you collect the samples for various labs. So you will give the opinion that the samples have been collected for toxicological and histopathological analysis. The final opinion will be given after the receipt of reports. And if you have received a report from chemical examiner, for example, the benzodiazepines are detected, the lab should indicate the qualitative and quantitative test showing the toxic level. Simply showing the benzodiazepine are detected is not sufficient. So after receipt of report from chemical examiner, the opinion can be framed as: in the light of chemical examiner's report, the detection of benzodiazepines in blood and viscera, the benzodiazepine as a cause of death cannot be ruled out. So this is opinion. So that's how we frame an opinion. This is the main objective of the autopsy for which the police is concerned. Thank you very much. Take care. Allah Hafiz. If you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel. And this is my channel name, Dr. Javed Iqbal Kokhar, Lectures on Forensic Medicine. Subscribe, share, like, and push the bell button. On the channel, Dr. Javed Iqbal Kokhar, Lectures on Forensic Medicine. Thank you very much.